everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Excited for this episode. I'm going back to a place I went a few years ago. I went to Portugal. I visited this winery called Esporao down in Alentejano region of Portugal, which is really opposite of Lisbon, like on the east side. Lisbon's on the west. Alentejano is on the east side. They're really right across from each other. Portugal is a really cool really cool country. You can almost drive the whole country in one day. In fact, I think you could drive the whole country in one day, which is, it's a small country, borders Spain, of course. And yeah, it was a fun visit. We'll talk a little bit more about that. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Miles Carlisle. He has a Instagram account called Cellar Time Wine. He reviews wine there. If you're an Instagrammer, get on there and hook up to Cellar Time Wine. Miles Carlisle is a great commenter. He watches my stuff, and I really appreciate his comments. And we go back and forth on the comment section. I really like comments a lot, and I really appreciate the support. I also like to give a shout out to Mario from LA, who's working on a T-shirt design for me and a video intro, which is really cool. And he's doing it as a present. Awesome stuff. And he watches my program, really likes it. Also a shout out to Steven, my buddy at King's Market, who jumped on and became a subscriber. Really appreciate that, Steven. So we're going to look at Esporao. We're going to look at two of their wines. This is their Branco, which is what they call white wines in Portugal. Branco. The winemaker at Esporao is, I don't know if David Baverstock is still there, but I know Sandra Alves is the winemaker. On their videos it shows her. I think David might still be there. He's been there a long time, so he's the director of winemaking, and Sandra Alves is the actual winemaker in selling Portuguese wines. Now you sell a ton of Vinho Verde. That's obvious. It's cheap, white, has a little spritz to it. People love that wine. They understand it for some reason. But then you started getting the other wines, and we'll talk about the grapes that they use in these wines. And I think sometimes when people have trouble pronouncing the grapes, they stay away from the wines, and that's, I kind of understand that, but, I love the brave wine drinkers. You guys out there that just dive right in and try something, even if you can't pronounce it. So this is made from 40% Anteo, 40% Rupero, and 20% Perum. Those are grapes that I know a lot of you guys have probably never heard of, but they're very common in Portugal, especially down in the south. The cool thing about Esporao, beautiful estate, one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at, and they have a little experimental vineyard. And I can't remember exactly, like 3,000 different grapes or 1,300 somewhere. Anywhere, it's 1,300 and more grapes that they grow, grape varietals that they grow in this vineyard, and they do it as an experimentation, to see which grapes do well in Portuguese soil, and it's a really cool thing that they do. And I know they probably use some of those grapes. Now this baby, this Monte Viejo from Esporao, goes for $8. $8, that's good value. Color. Oh, there's my white background. Nope, that's it. We'll go with this for now. So golden, really golden. Almost looks a little butterscotchy to me. Maybe you can see that. Does that help you see it? Okay. So I'm going to get that hard white card. A little bit slow on the uptake on that one. First thing I get off of this is a melon and wet stone. And just a kiss. Just a tiny kiss of honey. There's an essence of papaya there as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. $8, guys. This is an 80% wine. It's got that melon notes, very smooth on the palate. It has a really nice creaminess on the palate, which is I wasn't expecting. The melon comes through. There's definitely a papaya note that hangs down in there. Like somebody just drizzled a tiny, tiny drop of honey on that papaya and you ate it. You know, it has that. And then there's that wet stone kind of element in there, that dusty rock. Well, no, wet stone. Wouldn't be dusty if it was wet, right? And then right on the back end, white pepper notes come through, which I find very, very interesting. Papaya, melon, touch of apple, a little bit of honey, but barely, and then that kind of, I guess there's a little bit of dusty rock and wet stone in there, and then right on the backside, a little kiss of white pepper. I'm even getting a little lemon, just a tiny kiss of lemon. Not fruit forward, but it has good fruit qualities to it. I like the melon. I like the papaya elements that are in there. I like that dusty rock at the end. This is a beauty. I mean, for $8, this could rock a lot of things. This could definitely complement halibut, chicken, any sort of fowl, really. Game hen. This would be nice with cod. This would be good with oysters. This would be great with a lot of different things. In fact, I wouldn't be shy about having it with some Asian noodles because it's got enough fruit to it and it doesn't have a lot of acidity. It's nicely integrated in this wine. It has good balance. That minerality on the backside, that's a beauty. I'm going to go B+. That's how much I like that wine. Really solid white wine from grapes that a lot of us have never heard of. Antau Vaz, Rupero, and Perum, if I'm saying those right. I tried to look up Antau Vaz on the Esporao, Antau Vaz on the Forvo, and it wouldn't give me a definition. It wouldn't give me a pronunciation, excuse me. Now we're going to move on to their red. This is the Montevejo from Esporao. Red, 2019. What was the vintage on the white? 2019, so they're both 19. It is 40% Aragonés, 35% Trincadero, and 20% Touriga Nacional, and 5% Syrah. Now you guys know what Syrah is. Now interesting, Aragonés is called Tinto Ruiz up in the north, up in the Douro, called Aragonés in the south. They both are the grape that has the most synonyms in the world, Tempranillo. So that's what Aragonés is Tempranillo. Touriga Nacional is used extensively up in the north, especially with some of the reds of the Douro and Trincadero as well. But again, a lot of these grapes you've never heard of. Just remember, when you see Aragonés on the label, that is Tempranillo, and I know you know what Tempranillo is. So this rolls in at $10. I can smell this one. That's pretty cool. Color. I'll get this down, guys. This is dark red. I mean, like really dark red with a little bit of a violet tone to it, but definitely red. Red. You can see that? Yeah, there we go. See it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Like the comments on using that white card. I think a lot of you appreciate that. Let's see what we get on the nose. I almost get like a beet thing. Beets, you know, like beets coming through. But definitely cherry notes. Very perfumed. A bit of bark action. Almost borderline chocolate. Not quite getting there, but there's the essence of chocolate. Cherries. Like I said, there's that beet component going through and a little bit of plum as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. I feel like somebody chopped up some beets, threw it in. Now if you don't like beets, they're not pickled beets, they're just the beet sort of texture that comes through on this, with cherries and plums, and maybe even a little bit of strawberry coming through on this one. I kind of got it on the nose, I wasn't sure, and then in the palate I got it. Solid wine. Okay, we're talking, what did I say, $10 here. Good acidity. The acidity is well integrated. Gives it a little bit of a lift in the palate. I like that. The tannins are smooth. It's a structured wine. It's not flabby by any stretch of the imagination. It has structure. Nice red flower notes coming through as well. That's what gives it the perfumed element. The back end, there's an interesting flavor that I'm not quite able to put a finger on. It's kind of the combination of strawberry and cherry and plum, kind of all together, kind of a potpourri. Makes up a flavor like that. That's what I'm getting. Nice, good finish. Just a touch of minerality, certainly more minerality on the white than the red. But this is a beauty as well. Talk about a great burger wine, pizza, chicken wings, things like that. This is a solid little, this is a workhorse red. That's what I'd call it. Just nice vibrancy on the palate. The mid palate, there's just this spike of the acidity, kind of gives it a nice little edge to it that really makes this wine good food wine. I could drink this bottle all by itself. Nope, don't need food. I don't do that very often. Well, actually, I do it quite a bit. I shouldn't say that. But I like to match food with wine. And this is a beauty. Stews. You have steak with this. It just has enough guts to go up against all those things. I'm going to go BB plus on that one as well. I think for the money, these are great QPR wines. They're very solid. I just remember them from the past, how good they were, and they're continuing the quality of these wines. This is a lot of wine for $10, just saying. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I appreciate all the comments I'm getting. I really like that. Comments mean a lot. You develop this community where you can talk to each other, and I try to respond to every comment that comes through. Don't forget to hook up to Miles' Instagram account, Cellar Time Wine, where he reviews wines. I do a little bit of that on Instagram, but most of my reviews, of course, are right here and on my blog, StanTheWineMan.com. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.